Produced by Victoire.
Masters of Wrestling gives a special thanks to Mr. Jesse Hernandez and the EWF. The Masters of Wrestling is proudly sponsored by Clark's Nutrition and Natural Foods Market, as well as Legends and Icons. For all your health food, produce, and supplement needs, visit Clark's Nutrition and Natural Foods Market. If you are in the Coachella Valley near Palm Springs and want to visit the greatest sports bar in the area, check out Legends and Icons. Fans, the time has come for you to flex your appreciation in style. The Masters of Wrestling delivers the most truthful pro wrestling content week in, week out. And now we want you to show your support wherever you go. Power and Glory, the podcast t-shirts. Order yours now. Styling, the podcast t-shirts. Order yours now. To order your t-shirt and for shipping information, use the email address in the description of this video. The Masters of Wrestling. Order your t-shirts now. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Styling, the podcast. I am your co-star, the Master Emir. I am not joined this week by my other co-star, my tag team partner, former WWE superstar, Rico. Rico, as you all know, last week, you saw the injury he had on his finger. Well, he's been at the doctor's today, removing the pin, but fear not, we are still here. And as you can see, I'm joined by my co-star today. Ladies and gentlemen, it is Jesus Rodriguez. You old school guys may remember him as Ricardo Rodriguez from WWE. Hey, Jesus, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. I do have a question though now, right?
Yeah.
At what point does this become old school? When did we cross that threshold of like the back in my day?
Yeah.
When did that happen for us? Are we at that point where I look at kids and then now and I'm like, man, when back in my day?
Yeah.
At what age or at what point does that threshold happen?
I honestly think it's personal. I think it happens when your character matures to the next level. Then you're looking back and you say, "Oh, well, way back then when I was doing that character."
Is it like 10 years? Is that like the thing? 10 years, 15?
Well, yeah, because I'd say you were in a different era when you were in WWE. It was totally different. So it was
pre-TKO.
Pre-TKO, exactly.
Pre-TKO.
It was still a Vince territory at the time.
Yeah, and then ticket prices were a lot more affordable.
Yes, yeah. Oh gosh, I've heard that. My gosh, how expensive they are now.
It's insane.
It's like you got to remortgage your house in order to go and see SummerSlam. Not that we're knocking WWE because we're not doing that.
No. Hey, how's it going? I still want to work there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, but before we go any further, Jesus, I just want to remind all our viewers out there, lay the smack down on that subscribe button, hit the likes and share with your friends and family. The algorithm don't help us, so we need your help to spread the message, to get out there more and more. Also, I want to encourage you all to check out our t-shirts, Styling the Podcast t-shirts. They're now available. And also, if you feel generous, if you feel inclined to support in this channel, use the super stickers and the super chats. That's why YouTube provides them for you. So Jesus. So I wanted to dive right into the topic that we've advertised today, which is Hollywood in pro wrestling. So again, very apropos, considering that, everything that's going on, everything that's happening with MLW as well now, with Paul being involved now. I mean, obviously huge. I'm blown away by this guy. I must say, first of all, Jesus, like how many movies is this guy in now? He's everywhere.
And not only that, you know what's awesome about him?
Yeah.
Is that for everything that he's done, he's so down to earth and so humble and so willing to help and put his input. And then he knows that he doesn't know it all in wrestling.
Yeah.
So just as he's willing to help us out with like the camera and then the acting aspect, he also understands that, he's relatively new to the wrestling world, so he's always asking for advice and ways for him to improve as well. So it's a cool little dynamic that we have working with him.
Yeah.
And for the last couple of months that he's been with us at MLW, it's been such a pleasure, and he's so approachable, and I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that in the interviews. But, talking about bringing acting in and Hollywood in, I mean, you're no stranger to that, Jesus.
Yeah,
When you
yeah.
first came into WWE, I mean, you were trained to be a wrestler, everything else, and then you come in, bam. Now you've got to be the spokesperson.
Well, and it wasn't even just that. It was I think also just physically telling myself, "Hey, you're not supposed to be a wrestler. Ricardo's not a wrestler.
Right.
So we have to act like you're more of a dummy than you really are in real life. So pretend like you don't know what you're doing, it wasn't hard,
Right.
which
Right.
wasn't hard.
Yeah.
But no. So obviously we're portraying a character and a persona, and this whole idea that I had with Alberto, where I was his manager. I was like the protective shield oftentimes.
Yeah.
And I was always afraid. I was like the cowardly dog.
Yeah.
I was Scooby Doo. I was anything that was afraid
Yeah.
of getting hit. But then when my guy was in front of me, I was like, "Yeah, what's up?"
Yeah. Simple
Right,
storytelling, right? It
right, yeah,
works.
yeah. So
Um,
as long as Alberto was right there, I was like, "What's up, man? Let's go."
Yeah, yeah. Now, Jesus, again, being an expert in the field, how important is it for some of our viewers out there, maybe wrestlers who want to aspire to be wrestlers? How important is the Hollywood, the storytelling, the acting aspect of pro wrestling these
Well,
days?
I mean, it's so important, and just in general, because we have to be able to believe our persona and our character. So in order for the audience to believe that what we're doing is true,
Yeah,
um, we're obviously there to play a role. And then the number one story that you always have that will never go out of style is the good versus evil.
yeah,
And that's universal, and then it was always like the main story throughout history, and it will continue to be the main story through as time goes on.
yeah,
So obviously you're gonna have different roles, and then good and evil can come in so many different ways. It doesn't have to be that evil villainous that, hey, I'm gonna destroy you.
right.
uh Villainy can come in greed. Villainy can come in jealousy. It can come in wanting power. uh Right. So it can come in so many ways. And also at the same time, the good guy can come in so many forms.
Yeah,
It could be a tiny little kid. It could be a tiny little kid. It could be Microman that's trying to fight Almost, even
yeah,
though they're both technically good guys
yeah,
uh, at Mania.
yeah,
So it can come in so many different ways. And I think what's very important in all of that is being able to believe that person that you are, that you're putting out there.
hmm,
Because the moment that you have doubt within yourself, the audience is going to see it.
yeah,
You're going to be able to see right through it.
yeah,
And it's hard. I mean, it's not that it's something that's easy. Like, hey, today you're gonna be this rubber chicken, and you lost your squeaker, so
yeah,
you're trying to find your squeaker.
yeah,
Oh, but that guy over there has your squeaker. You have to go get it from him.
yeah, yeah,
Uh, so I have to believe that I am the chicken that lost my squeaker, and I'm gonna go get that guy to give me my squeaker back. I'm gonna
yeah,
fight that raccoon to give me my squeaker back. Yeah, it's little examples,
yeah, yeah,
but it's
yeah,
believing what you're doing.
yeah,
I don't. I know we hear oftentimes of like the method actors. Uh, uh, oh man, Joker, when he locked himself in this hotel for like a month
yeah.
just so he
Hey,
could also kind of go insane.
yeah,
Uh, like your DiCaprio, who would just believe and stay in that persona, that character.
yeah,
Uh, whatever the like Alberto, and I mentioned this before. Alberto
mm,
used to watch like all like the mafia drug lord movies just to kind of get that swag and
yeah,
that way of speaking. And
yeah,
I remember I've mentioned in many different interviews that there would be times that he would just watch Scarface over and over and over again when we were on the road. He would just
yeah,
have his portable DV player
right.
just to kind of get the tones, and then that little thing.
Yeah, yeah,
um, I got the idea of forming the Ascension from watching The Devil's Advocate with Pacino,
okay,
how he was trying to convince Keanu Reeves
yeah,
to basically join him. That's how I created the Ascension.
yeah,
Uh, Bray Wyatt used to be another one that was just constantly watching
yeah,
either serial killer interviews or just guys that were just out of there,
yeah,
just to kind of get into that mindset, so that obviously he can put that out there as well.
yeah,
And I think also a big component that can also go into the character, the bigger than life idea is the move is just a move, right?
yeah,
The move doesn't yeah, sure, it accentuates whatever you are, but what did you do beforehand and what you do afterwards is
right.
what's going to make that move.
Yeah,
uh, and that's where again, what's your flavor, what's your what's your pizzazz, your sazon,
Yeah.
uh, and that goes back into just character and the Hollywood aspect.
Yeah. And I think so. And let me jump in if I may. It's like, what defines a character? I feel that in the last 20 years, correct me if I'm wrong, but the last 20 years, there was a sort of a shift away from that for a while. Because if you look back at the Vince era, the golden era, the characters were so well defined, Jesus. I mean, you knew what the Undertaker was, you knew what the Big Boss Man or the Ultimate Warrior, you knew who these guys were. And then there was kind of like this period in between where it's like, okay, well, he's a badass. He's a good guy. That's
Mm.
about it. There was not a defining gimmick sort of thing attached to it. Do you think we're going back to that? Do you
So
sense?
I think it goes in cycles, right?
Yeah,
Because I think the reason why like the Attitude Era and all that stuff really, and the Aggression Era really kicked off too for a bit was because it was different than what the normal was.
yeah,
So obviously you're not gonna have a guy who's a trash man in real
right,
life, and he doesn't, that's not what he is in real life.
right,
You know that the Undertaker's not really dead,
right,
right?
right.
He knows that the Undertaker's not really dead, but
Yeah,
for he believed that he was that, and then the audience bit into it,
yeah,
uh, and people got attracted to that.
yeah,
We knew that Kane doesn't just do this, and then anywhere he goes, and then fire comes out.
right.
But just what we're so caught into that moment,
Yeah,
and that's what ultimately a lot of wrestling is
yeah,
moment.
yeah.
Uh, it's the same kind of a reason why, for instance, I'll put it this way: I hate watching sports on TV.
Hmm.
I hate watching sports on TV, but if I go to the arena, I'm
Hmm.
so into it because it's that vibe, that energy, the moment.
Right.
And obviously, like pro wrestling is a live action movie in front of you.
Yeah,
It's athletic theater, it's violent theater
yeah,
that's being placed in front of you, and then there the stage is a ring, and then the wrestlers are the actors, the performers, and
hmm,
they're conducting this live entertainment
yeah,
in front of you, no cuts, none of that. And the audience bites into it. And also, obviously, our job is to make sure that they're sucked into what we're doing.
yeah,
And that's mostly done a lot of it by that crowd engagement, that character, that persona.
yeah.
Yeah, they'll react to the moves. Don't get me wrong, they'll still react.
Right,
But when
right.
you hear that thump, where you hear they're gonna
Yeah,
react.
yeah, yeah,
But what's gonna get them engaged is your character, your personality,
yeah.
uh, your aura, as the kids would say.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. The aura. But then also the other part of it that I wanted to bring up as well, and I'm interested to see if Paul's bringing that in now with MLW, is all the backstage stuff, all the filler stuff, the vignettes, the promos and
Right.
stuff. Because obviously, growing up, you and I mean, it was prolific. Vince
Sure, for
did
sure.
that so heavily. And I think, from my perspective, it sold action figures. I think that whole presentation of wrestling really helped the characters become larger than life and market to those kids. The kids wanted to go and buy the dolls or the buddies and stuff
Sure.
like that because of the stories. Is Paul working with you guys to maybe dramatize it more like that? Has that been brought on the table to bring more vignettes, promos, things like that, backstage segments, or are you guys just focusing in ring?
So MLW has been doing promos vignettes for since I've been there. I've been with the company for the last 2.5 years, roughly,
Okay.
and it's been an awesome time that I've been there. I'm a producer for MLW, and
Yeah.
I'm very proud of the time that I have there.
Yeah.
Uh, what Paul has helped a lot is offer a different perspective,
Hmm.
and also bring new eyes
Yeah.
to MLW. The deal that we just, or that I want to say we as the MLW as a whole entity, not
Yeah.
me, I didn't do anything. We as MLW as an entity
Right.
has linked up with Don Gato Tequila,
Okay.
which as a result has brought in Danny McBride, and
Yeah.
that's awesome, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So those are the partnerships that help out,
Hmm.
bring new eyes and a new perspective. And obviously, we're learning from Paul on a different way of shooting and a
Yeah.
different way of doing our promos, which
Hmm.
is very helpful because again, we're so used to this whole listen here, brother, on January 7th at the VFW Hall, you and
Right.
I, 1, 2, 3, right? And then
Right.
that's not how it goes anymore. We
Right.
have to constantly be evolving. We have to be moving with the times.
Mhm.
Otherwise, you get stuck in the old ages. And sure, then we become that. Well, back in my day,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but times have changed.
Yeah.
We have to evolve with it.
Yeah.
Is there a way to still maintain the old format and just kind of adjust to it? Yeah, of course,
Hmm.
absolutely.
Hmm.
Um, I'll still tell you where we're gonna be at, who I'm fighting, and where to get the tickets. I'm still gonna do that.
Yeah. Of
But
course.
I'm gonna make it a little bit more on the realistic side. Um, and also, granted, it also depends on your audience and who you're targeting.
Yeah.
Uh, if you know, so that also does vary. But I'm very proud of the work that we've been able to do at MLW, and then
Yeah.
having Paul involved has been awesome. Because,
Yeah.
like I said, it's a new perspective,
Yeah.
and it brings new eyes.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
ultimately, that's what we want: new people that may have been that maybe they were saying, "Oh yeah, I used to watch when I was a kid. I used to watch The Rock. I used to watch Hulk Hogan.
Mhm.
I used to watch, Boss Man." And they're
Mhm.
like, "Oh man, that was like 30 years ago."
Yeah.
Um, but then you bring new people in, and it's like, hey, we still have characters, personas, and then the athleticism. And this is something I'll never like downgrade. The
Right.
athleticism of some of these wrestlers nowadays compared to back then is incredible.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Um, the athleticism is insane.
The conditioning, the cardiovascular
Oh,
conditioning.
absolutely, it's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
But but yeah, and that's why like I don't knock on people like Logan Paul or Bad Bunny or even with AEW when they're bringing celebrities. I don't knock on it. I get what they're doing. Uh,
Yeah.
we do it too, and then I do it too here for my own promotion and through Legacies Wrestling.
Yeah.
And then with that in mind too, even like on our I was born and not born, but I was bred under the WWE umbrella, so
Yeah.
I capitalized on a lot of that I learned.
Yeah.
So on my company, I do a lot of backstage. I do a lot of like, hey, we're walking into the arena,
Yeah.
vignettes that we put on our YouTube,
Yeah.
and it goes on to the show.
Yeah.
So I capitalize on all that, and then we don't have the budget as MLW, WAW. I wish one day maybe,
Yep.
but I try and teach them that kind of idea, that kind of perspective, and then thought philosophy, so
Mm.
that when they do go to AEW, MLW, TNA,
Mm.
wherever WWE, NXT Evolve, they already have some sort of a knowledge
Yeah.
and familiarized with it.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's why I'm very proud of, for instance, what I do with Real Legacies Wrestling, because
Mhm.
we stand out in that way.
Well, well,
I
I'm
agree.
well, I'm saying I'm glad that you're doing that because I do see and I hear rumblings and I see on some independent production companies and I watch what they're doing and I'm like, you're not preparing these guys for what's coming next. They're
Right,
not focusing on promos, they're not focusing on vignettes, they're not focusing on character work. They're focusing on match after match after match after
right,
match.
right.
And my argument is this, and correct me if I'm wrong. Most wrestling fans go to watch an indie show because they watch wrestling on TV. So in my mind, I'm thinking, well, give them something similar to what they're seeing on TV. Because if they go and expect, I remember when I first went to see a wrestling show, independent show, Jesus, and I was just left. I mean, sure, the matches were great. And again, I don't mean to disrespect anybody, but I was expecting to see something like WWE,
Mhm.
WCW, and I didn't see that. And I did
Sure,
leave feeling like
sure.
somewhat cheated. Like, where were the promos? Why did this guy face this guy?
Right, right.
Where is the buildup to? So you're saying when you do three legacies, you pay attention, you give them the full experience.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it too is so if we had weekly TV, I think it would help.
Yeah,
The advantage now is that we have social media, so we can post promos, we can do our YouTube. We do like a monthly recap of what's about to happen
yeah,
at the event. So we do that after the show. We do a recap video of what just happened, and we're constantly throughout the month we're trying to post videos of, hey, this happened, so that's leading into this.
yeah.
So FYI. The problem with that though is that not everybody is on social media.
True.
Not The kids aren't on it for the most part. The parents they may skim through it. Uh,
Yeah.
but the way I see it is for instance at our events, and I'll use my as an example because I'm still growing.
Hmm.
MLW is an awesome entity already as it is, and it has
Yeah.
been for 25 years.
Yeah.
Uh, but for us that we only have 3 years under our umbrella, um, I live in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. So
Okay.
there's I don't know the exact number. Let's just say 500,000 people.
Okay.
Right? Let's just say I don't know the exact number, but we draw about 500 a month, right?
Okay. Okay.
So that's 500 only,
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
and not everybody returns. Obviously, my goal is to try and get them to return, but
Yeah.
I constantly get new people that come in
Okay.
because we're constantly pushing the product and we're advertising. We're going out there and flyering. So I do feel like there is a variety that needs to be. place in our events in order for everybody to be satisfied. Because you're
Yeah.
gonna have your audience that's gonna be more, character WWE style driven, a
Mhm.
storyline. But you're
Mhm.
also gonna have those fans or those new people that just be like, "Oh my god, they just did like this whole
Yeah.
routine," and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'll put it this way, right? And I go back to what I had mentioned about how I think a reason why the attitude and then also like the aggression era uh, did relatively okay and well was because it was very different.
Yeah.
So my first independent wrestling show was PWG.
All right.
So I was just blown away by what I was watching.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is cool. This is awesome. And then once I started getting more experience, and I was like, I kind of like this idea of storytelling more.
Yeah.
Uh, but everybody's different.
Yeah.
And I've mentioned this in the past too, right? I've mentioned this in interviews. A couple years ago, I was dating this girl, and I was still when I was living in Orlando,
Mhm.
and Ring of Honor was on TV, right? So I knew who all the characters were. I knew who everybody was.
Right.
She had no clue. She had watched The Rock, Hulk
Yeah.
Hogan,
Yeah.
whatever, Stone
Yeah.
Cold. She knew that. That was as
Yeah.
far as I went. So there's this wrestler named Dalton Castle.
Oh yeah.
Dalton has these two people that come out with him with feathers and all that stuff. And she had no clue of, and she did not pop for any of the other wrestlers, but she loved Dalton
Yeah.
just because of the persona of the character, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and so I do believe that there has to be a variety of things for everybody to
Yeah.
enjoy.
Yeah.
Uh, but if you have a mix of both, of the athleticism plus the storytelling, then you're on this awesome
Yeah.
trip. Uh,
I think we did have that. I think we had that, Jesus, in the beginning. I think it was just very subtle. If you look back, SummerSlam 91, right? We start off with the big six man. I think it was Bulldog, Tornado, and Dragon against
mhm,
Power and Glory and the Warlord. Match two was Bret Hart, Mr. Perfect. There's your athleticism right there.
right.
Right, so
Yeah.
we had it spliced in. Your character match would have been the Mountie and the Big Boss Man, the
Right.
jailhouse match. So
Yeah.
Vince had a good grasp on
Mhm.
it seems at the time, but like you said, they did have to kind of break away for a few years, and then I think it kind of I think in my mind it sort of swang, the pendulum swang totally in the direction of athleticism for a number of years,
It
you know,
did.
prior to AEW. And then in the last few years, especially now with Netflix, with the Raw on
Yeah.
Netflix, I'm seeing now, okay, Drew McIntyre is a character clearly now. Logan Paul, these are the guys, and not Eli Drake, L.A. Knight. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
you're starting to see some of these more characters honed out. But I want to go back to Three Legacies a little bit more because obviously this is your baby, this is your company. So it's what, 3 years in now? You said
Yeah.
3 years,
2 years.
3 years you're
2
in.
years next month. Yeah.
Who are some of the standout stars that you're seeing right now? If we can timestamp this, who's coming up in your ranks that you want to put?
Uh, I'm gonna be biased because they're my students. There's one. Her name is Zoe Cannon. She is charismatic, and she'll tell you she's not the most athletic, but
Yeah,
her charisma is incredible.
there you
Uh,
go.
and I usually tell them, I was like, all right, you're over here because the crowd knows you. They saw you as a ticket girl when you first started, so
Mhm.
they are familiarized with you.
Yeah,
We'll find out once you actually start moving and then going out of the places how
yeah,
over you are. And then she's one of those that she proved me that she can, and
that's cool.
she has that charisma.
Yeah,
I have another one of them. His name is Naeem Brooks, and he just has the athleticism and the charisma that goes to him. And what I appreciate from him is that he's willing to go out
mhm,
and make the towns and then
yeah.
just try it. Go. He's done like he just did a EC3 seminar and
Okay.
he got selected for something the next day.
Yeah,
He's done a couple Sapolskis, and so he's done stuff,
yeah,
extra work as well too.
yeah.
So he's another one that's he's I think he's gonna be one of those that I think we should definitely keep an eye on. It's Naeem Brooks.
Okay.
Um, and as far as like my own company, this guy named Bro Keller, who's just athletic and just this smile to him.
Yeah,
Tarzan Duran is another one that kind of goes all throughout the country.
yeah.
And then I have one in particular. His name is Darian Hardaway,
Okay.
uh, who's I feel like he's on that cusp,
Yeah,
and I'm trying to give him the platform
yeah.
to explode.
Yeah. And what about you? I gotta switch gears and talk about you right now because
I
I
hate
mean,
that.
obviously you're a man who does have charisma. I mean, that's why WWE picked you. I mean, that's why you've been where you've been. Now, you personally, outside of, I mean, do you want for the rest of your career, do you want to be back? Do you want to be front and center? Do you want to get back like front and center full time on TV? Or are you content with training and preparing the young and stuff like that? I mean, where are you finding your peace these days?
Uh, I would love to return to WWE. That's not a secret. I would love to return.
Okay.
I don't have to be in front of the camera though.
Okay.
I love my role in teaching. I've
Yeah.
been very grateful that uh I've been able to teach in India. I've been able to teach in Australia and Mexico and throughout the US, all throughout the US, England.
Yeah.
I spent a year in Egypt opening up a wrestling school.
Oh
Uh,
yeah, I remember you told me that. Yeah, it's
so,
insane, dude.
so
Yeah.
I've had that privilege.
Yeah.
And even when I was in WWE, like even though I wasn't officially a trainer, they had me working with, the girls or the guys that were coming from NXT
Yeah.
and, just kind of getting in the ring with them before around SmackDown.
Yeah.
So like I've always found happiness in that. And
Yeah.
then if I always pop, I always react, in a great way when I show somebody something and then I see them do it either at a big show or on TV,
Yeah.
uh, or I see somebody that they spend time with me
Mhm.
and I see them on TV, and that brings a smile to my face.
Yeah.
Uh, I get messages every now and then from past previous trainees
Yeah.
who just did a spot or something happened, and then they're like, I didn't get what you said back then, and
Uh-huh.
then it just happened, and I get it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because that's what happened to me.
Yeah.
And I guess that also happens just in life when our
Yeah.
parents used to tell us, don't do that because this. And we're like, man, you're old. What do you know?
Right.
And then
Yeah.
the situation happens, you're like, that's
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
That's
And
it,
it happens quick, man, as you and I both know now. It's like faster and faster, it seems, with every
yeah.
day. But so in terms of characters, though, let's kick back to Hollywood a little bit. So who, in your estimation, if you've watched wrestling for the last 30 something plus years,
Hmm.
character work, storytelling, Hollywood, who is it to you that really captured every essence of if they're going to be the more dramatic, charismatic role, who did it for you?
Eddie,
Eddie?
Eddie, Eddie.
Okay.
And I feel, and I should probably ask Chavo. I feel like, have you ever watched Blood In, Blood Out?
No, what is that? Is that an action film?
No, it's from like the 90s, and it
Okay.
was a gang Chicano gangster movie.
Okay.
And one of the characters in there, because they're from East LA,
Mhm.
so they have that "Órale, vato" type of
Yeah.
lingo. And
Yeah.
there's a particular scene where I think it was Lou Diamond Phillips. Uh, yeah, no, Benjamin Pratt.
Okay.
Benjamin Pratt.
Okay.
Benjamin Pratt. He's like really mad because he's about to like fight it out with some other dude, and he's doing this whole thing. And then you watch that scene, and then you watch Eddie, and
Mhm.
you're like, oh, I think that's where he got it from.
Yeah.
Um, but oh yeah, Eddie to me, because once I watched Eddie Guerrero as a kid, but I didn't. But once I started wrestling and I started really like paying attention to things, it was when Eddie was basically the guy.
Yeah.
And then to me, he was charismatic, he was athletic. He captured us. Obviously, being Mexicano,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was a big part for me.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh, he's one of us.
Yeah.
One of us is out there doing that.
Yeah.
So the whole representation thing. But just to me, it was Eddie. Eddie, Kurt Angle, were two that were just had all of it.
Yeah. It's funny you mention them because obviously, if it was for me, I'm looking at it. But again, I think we all have a different mindset. So whereas my mind may lean towards the Hollywood stuff, yours may lean more toward the athleticism. But I'd never thought about that because you're right. When Eddie was in WCW, he was fairly quiet. Like I
Yeah,
remember he was very quiet. He was what they would consider the cruiserweights,
yeah, yeah,
and he was high flying. He was great in the ring and everything else. But once he turned on that persona and he started talking with the Latino
yeah,
heat,
yeah.
that was again it showed his acting chops were incredible, especially the thing he did with Dominic when he was
Oh, I love
when
it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. So good.
yeah.
Even Jericho when he came back from a break and he was like the undisputed champ.
Hmm.
Uh, he had like the short hair.
Oh yeah.
That to me was such a good heel character, and I love that because
Yeah.
he was this pompous dude.
Yeah, yeah. He was a real Hollywood. He was, yeah, it looked like the power had gone to his head.
Yeah,
He got rid of the leather jackets and whatnot, and now he was in a suit and short
yeah,
hair, and but again, it's amazing to see the acting chops that these guys have, and they have to, like you said, they have to fall back, they have to rely on them. So it's going to be interesting to see, obviously now going to MLW, it's going to be interesting to see where and how Paul can take this now. If you said, like I said, if he's giving you a different perspective and bringing in what you said, who was the other guy you just brought in?
Danny McBride. I think
Mc-
he's gonna be. I think they announced him for. Um, I forgot what show they announced him for.
Now, is he going to be wrestling or is he going to be like a
Danny,
commentator?
oh, I don't know. I don't know. That's
Yeah.
up to the boss man. That's up to
Okay.
Court. That I don't know.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Now, Danny McBride is hilarious. I've
Oh
seen him.
yeah. Oh,
I
his
saw
interviews
him.
are awesome.
Yeah, I saw. Did you ever see the Righteous Gemstones with him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But see, but here's the thing, right? So like going back to like, the whole Hollywood thing, a
Yeah.
lot of us would watch Hollywood or movies or TV shows, and I'd be like, because I told my kids the same thing: go watch a movie, go watch a TV character that you like, um, or something that you think that could be you, and then we'll
Yeah.
do promos just and you as that character.
Yeah.
Not everybody does it because we'll have our subtle like
Right.
flavor that we add to it.
Yeah.
No matter how hard Alberto tried, he couldn't imitate because of his accent. He couldn't imitate Tony Montana.
Yeah.
Uh, right. So we have our subconsciously we add our flavor.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, so like I said, that's how I started the Ascension. The
Hmm.
Ascension is because I was watching The Devil's Advocate, and then
Yeah.
I saw how Pacino was trying to convince Keanu Reeves, and I was like, oh, I like that. And then
Yeah.
I just started doing that with like the Ascension guys,
Yeah.
and that's how that started.
Yeah.
So yeah, so just yeah.
Yeah. But what do you prefer though? Do you prefer developing a heel or a baby face, or does it not matter for you?
I I prefer more so being the scaredy cat heel,
Okay.
because I have more fun with it,
Yeah.
because I can't do any wrong with it. If I
Yeah.
mess up, I mess up, and it's fine.
Did you ever draw from Bobby Heenan? Did you ever
Oh
study?
yeah, of course, absolutely,
Okay. Yeah.
absolutely.
I was gonna
Oh yeah,
say
absolutely. When I was in WWE, I remember Paul Bearer, who was such a huge inspiration and a big help.
Mhm.
He started kind of to seeing where I was at and what I was doing, and then he suggested watching a lot of Bobby Heenan, which I was aware of who Bobby Heenan was, but I never really paid attention to it until he told me.
Yeah.
Uh, so I started watching a lot of that
Yeah.
uh,
Yeah.
as a Paul Bearer.
Yeah. So Paul was one of your mentors then, coming
He
into
helped a
W?
lot.
Oh, okay.
He helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Mick Foley was another one. Paul Heyman was another one that would just he
Yeah.
would sit me aside every now and then and just kind of like, hey, that was good,
Yeah.
but let's do this.
Yeah.
Um,
Do,
and
do
then
you,
my best teacher was experience.
right. Yeah. I was going to say you've got a tremendous amount of experience right now. I mean, it's incredible going from where you started. Like I said, if I was a layperson and I didn't know who you were and I just happened to turn on TV and you're Alberto Del Rio's manager, didn't knowing that you'd been a wrestler, not knowing any of that, and now seeing where you've come from that. Because what is that? That's barely 10 years, right? About 12 years?
15 now.
Oh, it's already 15?
Apparently, this thing came out yesterday online that it's been 15 years since yesterday. So today
Sheesh, man.
is right now it's the 21st as of right now.
So,
Uh, so the 20th, I guess 19th, whatever it was 15 years.
so that was that 2010
2010.
when you debuted.
2010.
That
August.
that's incredible, man. How time flies. It's
It
just,
does. It does. And then
it,
it's crazy to think that for that time period that we were there,
mm.
um, we were representative of Latino America, and I'll always be proud of that.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Well, you kind of broke the mold. I mean, you helped shatter the mold. Let's just put it that way, because obviously Eddie had started that
sure
prior,
did.
but then you guys just kind of catapulted that. I mean, everybody remembers you guys. I mean, you guys were such a pivotal point. I mean, he was the world champion. Come on. I
Yeah.
mean, how long was it again when you were in you were side by side with the champ? What was
We
it like?
were 4 years and change.
4 years in, and then and then he was with the champion. Not too bad though.
Yeah. I was wrestling for 4 years. I had 4 years of experience on the independents and stuff before I got signed.
Oh,
And then
okay.
they paired us right away from the get-go.
But
Uh,
how long was it before they gave Alberto the champion, the title?
uh, a year.
That's fast for you to be associated with a champion in a year.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we started in August, and then he won it the next year in at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
So I did my tryout the day after SummerSlam 2010,
Right. That's what you told me.
and
Yeah.
I got signed a couple days later,
Yeah.
and the he won the title in 2011 at
Okay.
SummerSlam. He cashed in on CM Punk.
Yep, that's right. And your Sam Punk's still going strong. But I want to talk about Vince for a second here, because again, personal issues aside, we all know
Sure,
that he's been dragged. Professional cannot deny the man's genius. So
sure.
you were around him at the time. How incredible was it to watch Vince? Was Pat Patterson still there at the time?
Yeah, Pat was still there. Uh,
Okay.
we got to work with Vince very closely quite a bit,
Yeah.
and because Alberto was orchestrated and made and pushed by Vince.
Right.
So we worked very closely with Vince.
Okay.
Um, it was incredible to see when he was talking, because you can see that he had all these thoughts in his head, and
Yeah.
he was just trying to grasp one of them. And then as he would grab one, and he like da 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 da, and then he like no, hold on, and then he would grab another one, and then start like molding it.
Yeah.
Um, or if I've always used this example, there were times where we would be in a meeting or group or talking, all three of us, and people would be coming in asking him questions, right, about something completely different. Hey,
Yeah.
what about this? And then, but he would stop, answer it, and then come back, and he never missed a beat.
Wow.
So he was consciously aware of everything that was around him.
Yeah.
And it doesn't sound like much, but when you're watching, you're like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
But because he wouldn't miss a beat. He wouldn't miss a
Yeah.
beat.
Yeah.
Um, but just, yeah, the genius that it was, and then just watching him in action, and once obviously Triple H started coming in, and he started kind of like getting under his learning tree. You can see a lot of that Triple H was trying to get a lot of that too.
Yeah. But obviously for you, I mean, it's been a tremendous help. If you were that close to Vince, do you find yourself now reaching into a bag of tricks that maybe you picked up from Vince? Do you
Oh,
see us?
100%. Yeah, yeah, just thought processes, and the whole idea of like genuine reactions. So obviously don't tell people out there what you're about to do.
Right.
Just when it happens, you're like, oh snap, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Uh, or like, just how to get to a spot, how to get to something.
Yeah.
Was, I think, one of the bigger takeaways from Vince and all the agents that we got to learn from.
Mm.
Uh, this is where we're going. How are we going to get there? And then kind of swerve people a little bit, but still get to that spot. And yeah, I'm better at it by like writing it down and doing it
Yeah.
versus explaining it, because it's
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
I just don't know how to transfer from this to this sometimes.
Right. Because that's what I was going to ask you. Did Vince actually write stuff, or was he all mostly verbal with the
So
guys?
he was a lot more verbal, but there
Okay.
were so many of us around him
Yeah.
that it was written by all of us in our brains.
Right, right, yeah.
Um,
And and maybe shed some light on this, because obviously, so many people, and again, rightfully so, if things are true, they've demonized certain things about Vince.
sure,
But
sure.
let's just do something positive for a change instead of keep slamming the man. When you saw him, was he like a kid in a candy store? Was he generally enthralled by what he was doing on a daily basis? Was he a positive, or was he a Debbie Downer?
No, no. I mean, I mean, I saw him mad.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
think we've all seen him mad. We've all seen him, lose it.
yeah,
But I know when we did well, he let us and everybody know that we did well.
yeah.
So I wouldn't put him as a Debbie Downer.
Right.
He is business. He is
Yeah,
business, number one, and that's, I think, and I can go into that later on
yeah.
with how we approach things now. It's still a business, and we have to treat it as a business.
Right.
This buddy thing can only go so far before
Yep.
we're like, business. We're here for
Yep.
business.
Yep.
That's a whole other thing. But
Yeah.
no. So we're aware it's a business, but he will let us know, and he will let everybody know that we did well when we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah. That's something I did want to bring up. It's funny you went there before. I was thinking it. You may be telepathically communicating with me here, but I thought about that. I was
Question.
like, you're right. He ran a tight ship. You know, when I talked to Rico and Paul and that, it's like you better go out there and do a good
Yeah,
promo.
yeah.
You better get to the building on time. You know, and that was your boss, not your pal,
Right,
right?
100%. 100%.
I'm going to let you elaborate on that now because obviously you carry that through with your producing in
Sure.
MLW. So, how do you define that line and what kind of rules and regulations do you guys set in place to keep guys in place?
So obviously, and everybody's different. Everybody's different. It, but with the WWE, it was yes, all right, that's the boss. Yeah, we can once we kind of get that to that like level, we can
Mhm.
kind of joke around. But ultimately, if he says, "Hey, this is what you're doing," cool, this is what we're doing because he's the boss. He's the one that's paying us.
Yep.
Um, and a lot of times they have a better idea of where they want to go to get to. And then the next part is up to us to get to that point.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't deliver, then they have to switch ideas into something else because it whatever we just did didn't serve the purpose that it was meant to.
Yeah.
Uh, so the reaction didn't come, or the crowd didn't react how they were supposed to.
Yeah.
Uh, well, why didn't they react? Was it because the idea didn't pan out, or we didn't do too well at our job? And then that's sometimes that's when we would get
Yeah.
yelled at.
Yeah.
Uh, but no, there should always be that line of, hey, this is the boss, and then this is the hierarchy. And even at MLW, yeah, Court is the main boss. He's the boss, and then it kind of goes from there. And
Mhm.
then it's my job as a producer to make sure that the talent do uh, to the best of our abilities what Court had ordered to be done.
Yeah.
Uh, and what's nice about sometimes of those accidents that sometimes it doesn't happen how it was supposed to, that
Mhm.
some cool stuff happens.
Yeah.
Oh, and then so that's what we also have to be open. Um, there was a story that we did with one of our talent where she kind of tweaked her arm a little bit,
Mhm.
and the other girl just started going after that arm and just started because she saw it and we're like, all right, change of plans. This is
Yeah.
what we're going after, and
Yeah.
we made this whole story out of that.
Yeah.
Um, so that's one of those accidents that kind of paid off.
Yeah.
Um, and Court was happy with it, so we were happy with it.
Yeah.
Uh, but that's just an audible that was called.
Yeah.
But no, we tried to the best of our abilities to relay the message that was placed up here,
Mhm.
and we do our best to make sure that that gets put on TV.
Yeah. And now switching gears because I talked about this yesterday with Sim Bodie. Okay. So, he's got his opinion. I got my opinion. All right. But calling it on the fly, calling it in the ring. Okay. So because, clearly you and I know if we're studiers, if we're masters of the game and we go back and watch from 30 years ago, you can see where something's organic. And
Sure,
if you fast forward now, you can see where something's scripted.
sure.
How is it a detriment? Is there a time, do you think, where having a script is good and there are other times where it should be called in the ring? What do you think? Your personal opinion?
I think something that's very important that a lot of folks don't learn is improv.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important. I think it's very important to learn improv, to learning how to call on the fly, and it goes both ways for either wrestling or promos. Because like I said, sometimes things don't go according to plan,
Yeah.
and you have to be on the quick on your feet and like, all right, this joke didn't hit. How do I get it back in? Right.
Yeah.
Um, so for us, we used to always just have bullet points. We
Yeah.
never had full promos.
Okay.
We had bullet points, and then it was our job to learn how to connect the dots.
Yeah.
Um, so I feel some people need the full thing in the
Mhm.
beginning, sure,
Yeah.
the beginning,
Yeah.
just to kind of get them comfortable in the microphone, and because it's I mean, if you're not used to it, it's scary. You
Yeah.
have watching it in the beginning.
Yeah. I
But
agree with I would agree I agree with you on that. It definitely can be intimidating, but I think
you
like
have to take the training wheels off after a bit.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, but no, we had bullet points, and we just have to make sure we hit our points, and then we just connect the dots as we went. And
yeah,
it's the same thing with matches too, for the most part. Like I have my bullet points,
Yeah.
Uh, what's the opening bit? What's the first commercial break? What's the go home?
Yeah.
I need 2 minutes before we go home.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing before we start going home because I know
Yeah.
I have a counter in my head. That's 2 minutes. If
Yeah.
that, 2.5 or 1.5,
Yeah.
leaving some extra space in the back.
Now, do you teach your students that, or will you teach them?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay.
100%,
Okay.
100%.
Okay. Okay.
Like I said, thankfully, I'm still coming off of, even though it's been 15 years.
Yeah.
Uh, I was bred under the WWE umbrella, so that's
Yeah.
still stuck in my head. I can hear Arn in my head. I can hear Malenko. I can hear Jamie Noble. I can hear Vince in my head.
Yeah.
Uh, when we're doing this stuff.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well, it's a blessing that you got to have that because, like I said, a lot of these guys now not working in the business anymore. A lot of them, obviously in the next 15, 20 years will not be with us anymore. So
sure.
it's an incredible that you're able to carry that torch and go on and train these youngins, at least if only in Pennsylvania, and then in MLW. It's a blessing because I think again, for whatever anybody has ever said about that era, it was done right because that's what brought everything that's now present. That's what
Sure.
brought it to the dance.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that guys like you or like Hunter, like Triple H in WWE, a lot of people are giving him some slack lately. I'm sure you've seen that.
Yeah, but you're not gonna make everybody happy, right?
No.
He did a hell of a job with NXT, and then he took on this whole entity
Yeah.
of WWE. So yeah, you're gonna have some fails as you
Yeah.
go along. That's any
We're,
success story.
we're human
Yeah.
after all. I mean, it's like, come on, people. But yeah, no. So, well, I want to thank you, Jesus, for taking a little bit of time because I see we're coming to the top of the hour here right now. I want to give you that platform to plug anything you've got coming up right now. I'm going to put your handle underneath your name on the screen. So if anybody wants to get a hold of you, follow Legacies Wrestling, please do so. Please go and follow and check out everything that they're doing at MLW likewise. But anything, what's coming up on the horizon, Jesus?
In September 6th, we have our version of WrestleMania. It's called the Red Rose Rumble in Lancaster, PA. It is at the Penn Medicine Park. For that event, we actually have Chavo Guerrero. We have Tito Santana that'll be in. Zeta Steel, who's a WWID. Izzy
Okay.
Moreno, EC3,
Wow.
Callisto, Samurai del Sol.
Yeah.
And all the local fan favorites will be a part of it.
Okay.
We do our version of our Royal Rumble, and
Yeah.
it's a 15-person Rumble, and
Yeah.
then the winner of it gets a title shot opportunity within a year, kind of
Yeah.
like a Money in the Bank.
Yep.
For this one, though, they get the opportunity to main event against our current champion, who is Savio Vega.
Oh wow, Savio.
So Savio Vega, current champion.
Yeah.
So they'll be able to take on Savio in the main event. So that's going to be an incredible night. And I'm very proud of the work and all our sponsors. We have the Navy, who's one of our sponsors,
Man.
iHeartRadio,
Wow.
Energy, and a lot of local familiarized companies that are
Yeah.
part of it. So it's been an awesome time the last 2 years that we've done it. And
Yeah.
now that we're going on to our third one, definitely would like anybody that's in the Pennsylvania area to come check it out, or even like Maryland, Delaware, New York, New Jersey,
Yeah.
to come check it out. So
Yeah.
September 6th, get your tickets at 3lwtix.com, or just follow us on Facebook at 3Legacies Wrestling, or also on YouTube.
Yep, absolutely. I'll put the links in here. I'll also put a link to Three Legacies on YouTube in the description of this video. You'll see Jesus's handle right underneath his name at the bottom of the screen when this airs after editing. Well, it's already been edited right now. I don't know why the heck I said that, but anyway, but you know what I mean, everybody.
Yeah.
So, Jesus, I'd love to do this again.
Absolutely.
Obviously with Rico. Again, we apologize. Rico was not here. We'll come up with some other cool, interesting subjects, and maybe even do a piece with Simbodi over on
I would love to.
Masterclass.
We just had him back in October of last year.
Okay.
He came over. Was it October? Yeah, it was October. Wow, a year
Yeah,
already.
that's insane. I can't believe I spoke to you about a year ago, if not more than a year ago
Yeah,
now
it's
already.
insane how it happens.
That's nuts, man. But Jesus, stay on the line. We'll just say goodbye to the viewers. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of your time to join us here on Style in the Podcast. This has been Jesus Rodriguez. I am the Master Emir, and we'll see you next week right here on Styling. Take care and God bless.